What's up, guys? Welcome back. If you're new here, I hope you stick around. This week on the channel, we're going back on the 59 Catalina. If you're new around here, this car picked it up last year and it sat for 40 years, and we have completely went through everything and got it back on the road. If you're interested to see anything about this car, go back on the channel because there is numerous videos on this car. I'm talking, we went through everything. No motor, no trans, no interior, no nothing in this car. We've done it all. But this week, over last summer, I was, wouldn't say I was getting complaints from people. I had a couple people say, hey, that thing's smoking when you're driving down the road. Now, I would never seen it from outside the car. I was always driving it, and I never really noticed it. Now, it did smoke a little on startup, which is normal. The motor that's in this is actually a small block Chevy. If you've been around here, you know that. It's a small block Chevy 400. We put this in here last summer, and it took us all the way through power tour, no issues. But it did smoke on startup from the beginning, and I didn't do anything to this motor other than paint it and put it in the car. It had a 350 in it originally, and I'm not sure what happened to that motor. I bought it with condition unknown, and it was just old and wore out. It needs gone through. I still have it. I am going to go through it, and we are going to put it in something at some point in time. But for now, this needs to get back to running good. Not that it ran bad. It needs to stop smoking. Like I said, I never seen it smoke while I was driving, but either way, it does smoke on startup, so we're going to fix that. Now, about a month or so ago, I, on Marketplace, seen a set of heads pop up. The guy I got it from seemed like an alright kind of guy, like he wouldn't lie, but you never know. Either way, I have way less money wrapped up in those heads and the time that it's going to take me to just throw those on here than it would cost me to send a set of heads out and have a complete valve job done on them, yada, 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 and get it all back together. So, not for the lack of trying, we're going to go ahead and throw this set of heads on here and just see. If it doesn't work out, then I'll have a spare set, and I'll be able to send those ones out and get those fixed, and the car will still be on the road. That's the biggest thing that I didn't want to do, was have my car just not being able to be driven. So, we're going to go ahead and swap these out. Put those on there to give me a chance to kind of clean up. When it sat in the storage bin over winter, it kind of got all, what do you want to call it? It's like corrosion on it and stuff. So we'll be able to clean that up and make it look good again. And there's a few oil leaks that need addressed anyways. So it's a win-win. We're going to knock out several issues all at once. The carburetor, it does run kind of rich now, which I'm assuming that's just from it sitting around. So we're going to probably tear the carburetor apart, go through it just to make sure everything's clean in it. We'll reset the idle air mixture screws, go through all that again. Just get it ready for this upcoming season because if you're new here, I'm doing power tour again in this car. And this year, it's going all the way to Oklahoma, and I am in Ohio. So we need to go through just about everything on this car and make sure it's all good to go. So I think we're just going to hop in this thing. Just start tearing stuff apart, get these heads out of here, throw those ones on. My gasket kit is supposed to be here in a couple hours, so I got to go pick that up still. But either way, shouldn't be that big of a job. It's just a head job on a small block Chevy. Should just be a couple hour job if everything goes to plan. So let me put you guys up on a stand, and I'm going to hop right in this thing and just start tearing stuff apart. You know, I was thinking the other day, this car, if you don't know the story on it, I kind of gave a brief explanation in the beginning there. This car sat in a field for 40 years in Kansas. Somebody at some point in time had pulled the motor and transmission out of it, and if I remember, they cut the fuse box out of it. That's what it was. We had to put a wire harness in this car too. But this car sat for 40 years, untouched. A guy in Pennsylvania bought it. It was in PA for, I think it was 2 years, he said. And then the guy I got it from was the original guy who bought it's brother, and he was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then I picked it up from there, and he owned it for a year. So this car sat for that long. Brought it home February last year, and I didn't even ask the car's name. I just went straight to work. We cleaned everything up. We slapped this motor in here. Well, it wasn't this one actually. It was the 350 that was in here. Cut down the drive shaft, just slapped this thing together, and decided I was going to go on power tour, which was in June. And I got to give it to this car because, well, that washer's gone. This thing gave me absolutely zero issues on power tour. And I think we added up, I think it was like 1,300 miles that we took this car. It still has all the bushings in the front end. I didn't do anything with the ball joints. We did a disc brake conversion on it. I put a set of wheel cylinders in the back. It's still the same shoes in the back from when I got it. I didn't change those. Changed the fluid in the rear end and just put this thing on the road. I had to do some wiring because somebody cut the fuse box out of it, but I bought a cheap Amazon wire harness fuse box thing, and just used 90% of the factory wiring in this car and just drove it. I drove it all summer. And the thing, I think we had one issue on power tour. All the harmonic balancer bolts, the three small ones, not the big one, the three small ones stripped out for some reason. So we had to through bolt it. But that was something that I added to the car, so you can't blame the car for that. But yeah, this thing, I don't know. I think it just loves the open road. So I have decided that that's what this car is going to do. Every year I'm going to do a little more to it, and I'm going to turn this into the ultimate power tour / cruiser car ever. I still want to put air ride on it. I think that'd be pretty cool. The only thing with air ride is it's so sketchy to me, because I had an S10 on air ride not too long ago, and I had that S10 on air ride, and I was driving down the road and it lost a line, and I was doing 60 miles an hour and it drained all of the air right now. And that S10 would it would lay frame. Like, when you let the air out of it, you were sitting on the ground, and that happened at 60 miles an hour. So at that point, you're just along for the ride. That part of an air ride system scares me. So if I'm ever going to do that to this, I want to figure out some way to put stops on it, to where if that does happen while I'm driving, it doesn't just hit the ground and I'm just along for the ride. I've done that once. I'm not about it. I'd rather not have to do it again. So we're gonna figure out something else for that. Regardless, we gotta do something for the rear suspension anyways. Oh, that was something else that happened on Power Tour, which, once again, not the car's fault. I had heated the springs for a video because I wanted a cool thumbnail, and I was like, oh, it'd be fine. Let's just drive it. It didn't even make it to Indiana before the rear springs decided to collapse the rest of the way, and this thing was riding on bump stops for over half of the trip to Indiana. The racetrack, day one of Power Tour. It was the roughest ride I've ever had in my life. So we had to stuff footballs in the rear coils. That was the roadside fix that we did. So yeah, we lost the 3 bolts in the front and had to put footballs. And the footballs are still in there. I don't know how they're still holding up. I figured they would have given out by now, but hey, I'm not going to ask questions. It made us home and it's still working, so I'll take that. But yeah, there's still tons that I would love to do to this car. Not stuff that'll make it even drive better, just customization stuff. So this thing still has a long way to go. Well, I have never had a head that stuck on before to where I had to use a 4-foot breaker bar or pry bar to get it off. I'm going to say those have been on there since they were new. But anyways, we got our half, well, that's way more than half. I only got the one head left to get off of here, but figured I'd stop and talk to you a little bit about what I've discovered so far. So far, nothing. Everything looks fine. Yes, the plugs did kind of burn a little. Can you guys even see that? She's burning oil, but I mean, for an original motor, I did absolutely nothing to other than clean it up, paint it, and throw it in this car. And that guy that I bought it from knew nothing about it, so I can't complain whatsoever. There's not a whole lot of cross-hatching left in the cylinder walls, but this thing ran so good, and it didn't have any blow-by. I mean, your typical blow-by is all it had. So I'm not worried about the rings too much. So we're gonna go ahead and just throw these new heads on here and just see what happens. I've got a mess to clean up because oil went everywhere when that head decided to finally flip off of there. It's just everywhere. And that was something else I wanted to do anyways, is go ahead and clean all this back up, make it look a lot better. I'm gonna go ahead, get this other head off of here. Then I got a bunch of gasket material to clean up. It actually ended up ripping the back of that head gasket. It's still stuck on there, so. After I get this head off, I'm gonna take my roll lock, and it has like Scotch-Brite pads I can put on it. I'll show you. But I use that to clean up all my gasket surfaces. It works really good. But yeah, I'm gonna grab this other head off of here, and I'll touch base with you after that. All right, so next day, we got a pretty big pile of parts here. As you can see, both the heads are off now. I just got some towels in there to block that, and I have started to clean off these head gaskets. I attempted to scrape. That's not happening. Like I said, I think those have been on there since, they're the first ones that ever been on there, the factory ones, whatever you want to call them. They are super stuck. So scraping is not working. I ended up go ahead and getting my roll lock. Now the wheel that's on here is like a Scotch-Brite, like this here. It's nothing really serious, but I got to do something to get this off here. Like I said, they don't scrape off. I've done about half of this. As you can see, they basically sand off. Now that Scotch-Brite, it's not going to take off any material, metal, so we should be good there. I've been using those for years. I've never had a problem, but like I said, those are not scraping off, so that's really the only option. The other side, I had to pull the header off to get the lower head bolts off because the header was in the way. I found out that one of my bolts was missing out of there anyway, so I guess it was a little blessing in disguise, because obviously that needs to get a bolt put back in it. But yeah, I'm just going to go through this thing with the roll lock, clean up all these gasket surfaces, and then we'll open up the new gasket kit and start throwing these new heads on here and getting this thing back together. So hopefully this thing doesn't smoke anymore. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if anything, we'll send off the heads that were on this, because they are a little bit better of a head than the ones that I bought as far as performance. They're still a stock takeoff head. They're nothing special. But if anything, if it still smokes a little, we'll send off the heads that were on this and then get those completely gone through. And then I would like to put a cam in this at some point, so maybe later on down the road when we decide to do the heads, we'll put a cam in this as well. I would like to convert it to roller, that way I don't have to deal with the garbage of breaking in a new cam, because cams these days are garbage, and you're playing a wishing game on breaking in new cams. So I don't know how much faster I want this car. I mean, obviously you're not going to gain a whole lot with just a cam, but I'm not looking for performance here. If anything, we're looking for sound. But yeah, enough talking. Let me fire this roll lock back up. I'm not going to make you guys sit there and watch all that. So I'm going to clean all these up. We'll get these new gaskets and heads, start throwing this thing back together. Well, as you can see, we are ready for the heads. I've spent the last probably 2 hours cleaning that up and the new heads, just getting everything ready. Those gaskets were so baked on there. I went through, I think, 7 of those roll-lock wheels. What a mess. Anyways, I got it all cleaned up, and pretty sure that I'm ready to just throw the heads on here, start putting the bolts in it. I got a new set of bolts, and then we're going to torque these things down. Now, if you guys are doing this and you're reusing your factory head bolts, I'm not against it, but I'm not going to tell you to do it. Mostly, I just wanted to say you should put some sort of sealant on the head bolts because they go into the water jackets and you need those to seal up. So I got new bolts, so I'm not going to have to worry about that, but definitely something you should consider, putting some sort of sealant on your head bolts on a small block Chevy, and that's any of them. Just go ahead and do it, get it out of the way. You don't have to worry about those leaking, seeping, whatever you want to call it. Just do it. So let me put one of these heads on here. All right, here we go. I tell you what, after dealing with LS heads for so long, these things are ridiculously heavy in comparison. All right. Come on now. There we go. Get them on your dowels, and they'll sit on there. Get 2 bolts, put those in there just so they don't fall off. I'm gonna go ahead and torque all these down. I feel like the people who are watching this know about torquing bolts and all that, and you've seen me do it before. Start in the center, do a circular motion out in your bolts. You want to start in the middle and work outwards. Get all these torqued down, and move on to the next thing. So I'm gonna get that done. I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you guys and talk your ear off for no reason. Let me get these bolted and torqued. All right, guys, I know that this is explained a million times on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos to watch on how to do this. I just figured I'd explain it real quick. Maybe you're watching this video and you've never done it before. Highly unlikely, but here we go. For setting your lash on your rockers. The way I do it, obviously make sure that your push rod is all the way seated in your lifter. Now, usually you're going to do this with all of them installed. And you're going to do this in stages. The way I usually do it is I'll put all of them on, get them all set in here. Now, obviously you're going to want to do these when your lifter is on the base of the lobe on the cam. Anyways, I'll go through here and I'll do this in 8 different, I'll do it 8 different times, all of them 8 different times. How I'll do it is, no matter where the motor's at, as far as top dead center or whatever, I will go ahead and go through all of them, do them all once. I'll turn the crank 90 degrees. I'll do them all again, turn it 90, do them all again, turn it 90. And you want to do 2 full rotations just to be sure you've got all of them. And then even that, I'll usually go a couple more 90s just to make sure I've got them all. But when you've got them all installed, I just have one installed here just to show you. But you're going to want to run it down. Obviously, we have a lot of play in our push rod here. So you're going to run that down, get all the play out of it. Just keep going down until this is all the play is out of it. See, we're getting pretty close here. And also, make sure that your ratchet isn't what's holding the play out of it. Because sometimes you can push that washer down and with the socket and not let the play get out. All right, so say we got pretty much no up and down here. It might be hard for you to tell, but I like to go until you can just barely spin it with your fingers, which is about there. Okay, then you're gonna want to do a half a turn. So I will take my ratchet, put it this way, and you're gonna do a half turn on it, just like that. And now that one is done, because I know for a fact that this one right now is on the base of the cam. So I'm gonna go ahead, go through all of these, put them all together. We'll spin the motor 90, spin it 90, spin it 90, spin it 90. Do all of these, make sure they're all good. And then we'll put the intake on. Yeah, you can do it with the intake on. It's just kind of a pain to grab a hold of it here. It's a lot easier. There's more room to get a hold of it down here. Just makes it more simple. So I'm going to go through here, get all these taken care of, and then we'll move on to intake and valve covers. All right, guys. Got all the valves lashed, I guess you could call them. They're adjusted. I went ahead. I rotated it at least 8 times, minimum. Went back through, checked them all, make sure that they were all good. And I only have one more piece of advice that I want to give you before I go ahead and just finish throwing this thing back together. And that is with the China wall gaskets. That's what everybody else calls them. I don't know what you call them, but they go on the front piece here and there's in between the heads. I call them valley gaskets. Either way, here's what you do with these. You don't. I don't use them. They're garbage. What I do is I take gasket maker. I use Right Stuff because it's the right stuff to use. And I'll take this and I'll put a 1/4-inch bead across the front, across the back. That's a very common thing. So you probably already know this. I just wanted to share that just in case there was anybody else doing this for the first time that just so happens to be watching this video. So take this stuff, put a 1/4-inch thick bead all the way across the front, across the back. Make sure you get the corners real good. I'll put my bead across here first, and then I'll slide my intake gaskets down into it, and then I'll make sure that it's really good sealed in the corners, because that's where it's going to leak. But I think that's about it as far as my advice as what to do when doing this, putting this stuff back together. But yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just slap the rest of this back together, and I'll probably come back when it's time to hit the key on this thing, because it's literally just bolting stuff back together. The exhaust, the intake, carburetor, valve covers, alternator, just bolting stuff back together. So I'm going to knock all that stuff out, and I'll be back when it's ready. All right, new day. Parts pile, gone. I went ahead and just knocked this thing out. It is 100% back together, other than the air cleaner, and we got to get some coolant in this thing, which I just got back from picking that up. I'm going to fill this thing up with coolant. I'm going to fire it up. It's going to be a smoke show under the hood of this because oil spilled all over the headers, so don't pay any mind to that. But I said before I tore this thing apart that the carb was running rich, so I'm going to mess with that a little bit, and also we got to set the timing. Hopefully it's not 180 out, which it shouldn't be, but yeah. I'm going to set you guys on a stand. I'll go ahead and fill this thing up with coolant off camera. Let's hit the key on this thing and see what happens. So, yay. All right. In theory, this thing should start and run. The timing should be really close. Now it's even closer. There's still fuel in the carburetor. It hasn't even evaporated yet, so it should fire off fairly easy. So, let's see what happens. Well, we're running. Probably should open the door. Kind of sounds like we have a misfire though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say it's on this side. Not too sure yet. Okay, we got some things happening. Definitely sounds like we have a dead miss. The exhaust is loose over here on this side, and there is coolant everywhere now, unfortunately, because it overflowed and went in the fan. So, regroup. I'm not too sure what the misfire is about. We did have 50 psi oil. Maybe I over adjusted or didn't adjust one of the rockers. I'm not too sure yet. But regardless, there is coolant everywhere. So I need to clean up that mess, and then we'll regroup and try again. But if I had to guess, it's probably one of the rockers, either not adjusted right or not enough. One of the two. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, it is more than a couple days later. Unfortunately, I spent a couple days trying to figure out the misfire on this thing. I readjusted the valves several times. I put new plugs in it, put new plug wires on it, did all kinds of stuff. I did find the miss. It was cylinder 4 and 6 on the passenger side, so 2 of them in a row. I guess, trying to find the best way to explain this. How I found it. The first thing, after I adjusted the valves and it didn't work, and then I did it again, it didn't work. And the way I did valves, I don't remember if I explained in this or not. I tightened them down so you can just barely turn it, and then you go a quarter to a half a turn of preload on them, and that's how you'd set a lifter on a small block Chevy. Well, when after I adjusted them several times, I decided, well, let me do a compression test on it. And I put the compression tester on 4 and 6, and they were barely making 20 psi, both of them. And it was blowing my mind as to what it could be, because the walls look good, the heads look good, everything looked fine. Well, come to find out, I made me a little rig and I pressurized each one of the cylinders. I took the rockers off, filled the cylinder with air. That way it was holding pressure. Well, they held pressure just fine, which told me the valves were good and that the rings were good. So I decided to adjust the valves with the pressure in there. And as soon as you would go to put the preload on it, it would immediately start opening the valve, which means it has 4 collapsed lifters that never pumped back up. I've never had this problem before. I didn't even touch the lifters. You guys saw that. All I did, take the rockers off, pull the push rods off, pull the heads off, put the heads on, push the push rods back in. Never touched the lifters once. And now we have 4 collapsed lifters. And that just kind of put a damper on it for me. It's just been sitting here. I ain't even touched it. Mostly because this is a flat tappet cam. And I have dreaded doing flat tappet cams because with a flat tappet cam, you shouldn't just put new lifters in it, in my opinion. You need to wear them in together, break them in together. And this thing, to me, it needs a new cam and a new set of lifters. Because I don't want to take the chance in just throwing a set of lifters in here and then we wipe out the camera, we wipe out a lifter, then we fill the entire motor with metal shavings and just ruin it. So I've never done one. I've always done roller stuff. I've converted them to roller. Well, here's my problem. In order to convert this to a roller motor, the cheapest kit that I can find through Edelbrock, and that's cam, the lifters, and new push rods, is right at $2,000. Here's the problem. I can LS swap this thing for $2,000 and have twice the motor, twice the reliability, twice the availability for parts on the shelf at the store. So I'm kind of torn right now. I don't know what to do. Obviously, I put a small block in it, old school, conventional, whatever you want to call it, because I like the look. I think it fits the car. I'm not sure what to do. I think you guys leave down in the comments what you think I should do. At the end of the day, putting all that money into the 400, and the reason I wanted it to be the 400 is because it's funny to tell the Pontiac guys that it's got a 400 in it. Then I open the hood and they're like, "That's not a Pontiac." It's just funny. It's funny to me anyways. But anyways, I'm not sure what to do with it. I know we got 2 months till Power Tour, so options are buy another small block, but buy one that's I think it started in 88. 88 and up is already a roller motor, and I could just throw a cam in that and be done. Because we want the cam for the sound, or do I just buy a small block, newer style, center bolt, and put it in here and just do Power Tour with that and then build a motor afterwards? There's so many options. Obviously this car is going to be around, it's not going anywhere. I'm torn on what to do with it. So maybe you guys can leave a comment down there. What would you do with it? Like I said, I got 2 months. I got to figure something out. So as of right now, I don't know. I have 2 LSs sitting around. I don't have any more small blocks sitting around. So in the mind or the means of spending money right this second, I have an intake for an LS to put a carburetor on it. I have the valley cover. I would be into putting an LS in this just in a set of mounts. I have a couple set of headers that I might be able to make work, and then the MSD box. It'll bolt to this trans. I'll have to buy the flywheel. So in the end of it, it would be cheaper to LS versus getting another small block and going through it, because I would want to go through it since we're going to Oklahoma just to be sure that it's good. So I don't know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys would do. Either way, something has to be done. Something will be done, because Power Tour is right around the corner, and we're taking this on Power Tour, whether it likes it or not. I don't know why it seems to want to fight me so much, but here we are, and this is the situation that we're in. So next video, probably not going to be this. I got another vehicle sitting over here. I want to do a trade-up challenge, and I've got a vehicle over here that it's going to be the starting vehicle. We'll see what we can do with it. We got to go through it, make it run, but that's a video for next video. So sorry I didn't get on the road, but that's how things go with hot rods. So you guys drop comments, let me know what you think, let me know what you want to see. I'm sure a lot of you are going to say don't do the LS. I'm sure a lot of you are going to say don't do the small block. I don't know. We'll figure something out though. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Sorry there wasn't a glorious end to the video and a cool burnout or whatever. But yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Come back on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.